All right, JMC 6000 here in the JMC Garage for this week's JMC Garage Talk. Thank you for tuning in. And today we're going to be looking at the new 3-liter Twin Turbo Inline Six developed by Fiat Chrysler, well, actually now Stellantis. But let's kind of go into this because this engine is actually replacing the 5.7, the 6.2, the 6.4, all the Hemis are going to be replaced with this engine. In fact, the new 2025 Ram 1500 that is just now being started drop off at dealers are coming equipped with either this or the 3.6 Pentastar. So let's kind of dive into it. Let's go over some things about this engine. And I have an amazing secret at the end that you don't want to miss that I haven't seen in any other engine before this one. But let's kind of get into it here. So number one, this is it. This is what it looks like with the engine cover off. It's something else. It's a monstrosity, I'll tell you that. It's definitely something else. So big massive airbox right here that brings in all of its fresh air, brings it in through this massive tube. It's got a mass airflow sensor, massive tube that goes in, and I'm going to come around you, son. So, oh, you could have stayed up on the stool. Anyway, it splits off, and you got two intakes, one for this turbo and one for that turbo. So this is a Twin Turbo Inline Six. Now, both turbos have electronic wastegates, yeah, I don't know. I mean, electronic wastegates are fine as long as they're done right. They can be reliable if they're, because some wastegates are vacuum operated, but this has electronic wastegates. And then also they come out of each turbo, and you see the two lines sitting on top of the engine there. I'm going to come around. This thing is so massive. You see the two charged air pipes coming out of each turbo. They come around and they come into this massive, right down here. It's maybe hard to see on camera, but this massive thing right here is the air-to-water intercooler. Now the turbos and the air-to-water intercooler have their own coolant reservoir. In fact, it's right here. This is their own coolant reservoir. It's a low-pressure reservoir, 5 psi. This is the main engine coolant reservoir. That's up to, I believe it's 21, which is typical of an engine coolant reservoir. But the turbos and the air-to-water intercooler use their own little reservoir and their own little electric water pump for the charged air to be cooled and for the turbos, the two turbos, to be cooled as well. So you may be like, what special features does this engine have? Well, one, it has twin independent variable cam timing for the intake, which is on this side, and the exhaust, which is on this side. Again, dual overhead cam, inline six. It only comes direct injection only. Unfortunately, this engine does not have port injection, so carbon issues or carbon buildup on the backside of the valves could be an issue. Again, this engine is way too new to even know if there's going to be any issues with that. But it's something to look out for and something to be mindful of, that this is only direct injected. Again, as it comes out of the air-to-air intercooler, it goes up into this massive plastic intake with the throttle body right underneath. Again, it's hard to see, but that right there, what I'm touching, is a massive plastic intake. Now, as you can tell, this engine looks absolutely, you got hoses and pipes and electronics going everywhere. There is a massive engine cover that goes over this engine, but I've taken it off to do this demonstration and kind of show you what it looks like underneath without the engine cover. We do have spark plug coils that we can see with some insulation. One of the downsides about this engine only being direct injected is that the direct injectors are on top. That's why they have the insulation on the top of the valve cover. Because the direct injectors are on top, it makes it a little bit harder if you need to do a valve cover gasket maintenance or even to work with some of the spark plugs. I mean, you got to take off all that plumbing in order to do all 6 spark plugs to get out each and every coil. So just something to think about. A couple things about this engine. We see that to fill it up with engine oil does take 0W20, is right up top here. So nice and easy to get to, and that goes right into the valve cover. And you see this big massive air tube. Again, it collects all the air. I believe it has 2 throttle bodies. Whoa, that's a surprise. Check this out. So you have one here that allows air to go into each, that goes into and feeds the 2 turbos. And then you have another throttle body right here. That is crazy. There's 2 throttle bodies on this. I didn't know that. So it actually regulates air going into the turbos, and then it regulates air again going into the intake. Whoa, if somebody can explain that to me. This engine has 2 throttle bodies. That's not the only surprise this engine has. Also with this engine, again, twin and variable cam timing, it does have a direct injection fuel pump. Unfortunately, the direct injection fuel pump is not driven by either intake or exhaust camshaft like it is on most direct injected engines. In fact, Chrysler saw it fit to develop a third camshaft just to drive the direct injection fuel pump. I believe it's somewhere located in the center of the engine. I think, I could be wrong, but I believe it's up front here. I may be wrong on that, but there's all kinds of hoses and everything up front. There is a serpentine belt under here, but it looks like it's absolutely buried with hoses and wires and everything else right in the front of it. It does have a massive cooling fan that's electronically controlled. But let's go into the other surprise of this engine. Now, as I share with you, one of the things I do love about this engine is that it is buttery smooth. And it's hooked up to a smooth shifting 8-speed ZF design automatic transmission that Chrysler has been using for going over 11, 12 years now. They've been using it for quite a while. One of the things I love about this engine, though, is how smooth it is at idle, going all the way up to the 6,000 RPM red line, shifting everything. It's just buttery smooth. One of the downsides of this engine, and one of the things that Chrysler has done, is that they've made things a little bit more complicated with this engine. Again, this is a lot more complicated than the Hemi. But also, one of the things that they did was they don't give you an engine oil dipstick. That's the biggest surprise. There's no more dipstick with this engine. So if you want to check the oil level, you have to go inside into the main engine or into the main gauge cluster screen, scroll through the menus, and come up and it'll actually show you what the engine oil is. So when you change the oil, you better find out exactly what this engine takes, dump it in, and then you have to check it through the cluster screen. There's no more checking it as far as pulling out a dipstick and everything else. I find that incredibly frustrating, and I think many people will shy away from that engine. From what I understand, German engines have been doing that for years. BMW, Mercedes, a couple others have been doing that for years, German engineers. But maybe it's because this is now Stellantis is the reason why they decided to design it on this engine. But I find that increasingly frustrating that an American manufacturer decided to design an engine without an engine oil dipstick. So if I wanted to check the oil, and many times checking the oil for me tells me the condition of the engine. How dirty is the engine oil getting? How clean is it staying? And those things of that nature. Is it using any oil? And I understand you can check that through the gauge cluster, but it's so nice and easy to do it with just its typical dipstick. Just to check the condition. When you're buying this used, you want to know the quality of the oil that's in there, but you can't do that unless you drain it out and fill it back up again. And you cannot check to see, unless you get underneath and look to see if they actually replace the oil filter, when you take it to the dealership or take it to a quick lube place, if they actually change the oil. They should just go under there and just change the filter, be like, oh yeah, we changed the oil, you're set, and go in and reset your oil life monitor, but you'll never know if they actually change the oil because you cannot check the condition of the oil physically. Unless you ask for them to maybe show you a sample, which may have to be done. Anyway, I just find it increasingly frustrating that this engine does not have an actual dipstick. I think that would be one deterrent for me not to even worry about getting this engine. Now, I will say this. I think Chrysler did good with this engine. It has plenty of power. It's buttery smooth. And it makes good power, and it works well with the 8-speed automatic. I mean, they talk well to each other. But I think that will be a deal breaker for me. No engine oil dipstick. Absolute deal breaker. I couldn't believe when I heard about it and read about it that it doesn't have one. So, again, I love this engine, and I know it's coming into different products. But be mindful of that. This doesn't have a dipstick, and I'm guessing on the 1500 Ram, you're going to have to check the oil the same way in the actual digital gauge cluster. So, something to think about. I mean, this engine is going in not only in the Ram, not only in this and the Wagoneer, but it's also going into the Charger next year. And it keeps on making weird noises, too. This thing is making weird noises all over the place. It could be the electric water pump. I think it is. Yeah, it's the electric water pump for the intercooler and for the turbos. It's continuing to run. Interesting. Interesting. Anyway, one of the things I want to leave off with is this cool plaque by Chrysler. It says Wagoneer, designed in Auburn Hills, built in Warren, Michigan. And you get the outline of the Wagoneer, born in America. America, baby. America. Anyway, this is JMC 6000. I wanted to bring you this review of the 3-liter Twin Turbo Inline Six Hurricane. And just wanted to let you know, it's crazy. We're now going to an age where we can't even check our own oil. I bet you they make it almost impossible even to change the spark plugs in this engine. I'm sorry, that's, as a guy that loves working on my own equipment, love doing my own oil changes, that's no bueno for me. No bueno. I'm so sorry. Anyway, you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Continue to let me know those comments. Love to hear those things. Again, you guys be blessed. Have a wonderful day. We'll catch you on the next one.